Gurura Brahma, Gurura Vishnu, Gurura Devo Maheshwara, Gurura Sakshat Parabrahma, Tasmai Guruve Namah. Honorable Education Minister, Dr. Anuj Begu, Chairman SEBA, Sri R.C. Jain, other office bearers of the organization, and the most honorable and respected teachers of various schools of the state of Assam. মই আপোনালোকক আমাৰ ৰয়েল গ্লোবাল ইউনিভাৰ্চিটিৰ প্ৰাংগণত মোৰ হাৰ্দিক অভিনন্দন জনাইছোঁ। I am really honored to have been invited for addressing you all in this valedictory session of 3 days teacher training program for the subject science and mathematics. I am sure the training must have gone very successful, and as Sri R.C. Jain said that this was a makeshift arrangement to have the training program here, I will also like to apologize for any shortcoming which might have happened in the last 3 days and will like to improve upon in your next sessions. I am sure the learning process had been successful to the extent that you must have learned many new things, the latest pedagogy, the new things about the NEP 2020. But one basic principle which I know that is very important for any training program is the fact that if we all come with an open mindset and we all come with the idea of I am hungry and I am foolish, and you come with the idea of unlearn whatever you think that is not relevant, and you come with the idea of learning something new which is more relevant in the present context, then the learning really becomes successful. When Mr. R.C. Jain told me to come and address, he in fact told me that you have to be resource person in one of the sessions, which I was not available here. Then what should I speak on the valedictory session? He just said that you can speak anything to motivate the teachers, and you can share your perspective about the education and about the teachers. So I thought that neither science and mathematics is such where I have my own mastery. I did fare well in my education though. I thought let me talk because you have fair enough training about mathematics and science, which is really a core subject, and the success of any school depends on how well they have done in science and mathematics. I'm afraid whether these 3 days training, besides training about the teaching pedagogy, beside syllabus, beside question paper, whether there was discussion about the other than the training, other than I mean to say these aspects about the learning pedagogy, something beyond where I am going to put forward and share my perspectives, which are of course beyond the classroom teaching. I believe you might have done this. If not, the trainers who have been trained today and henceforward going to train the other school teachers, I will request them that in whatever time is allotted to you, at least keep a time slot to train your teachers, to train about what I am going to share with you, which is beyond normal teaching, beyond excellence in the subject. Most of the teachers are excellent in their subject, I am sure. They teach well, the students excel well, they score more. While on this aspect also I would like to tell you one thing, that scoring is not all that on which a student should be gauged by a school. In my perspective, a student should be gauged, besides on scoring, they should be gauged on 3 counts. 1, academic excellence. Their academic excellence should not be gauged on the basis of the marks they secured, but on the basis of which institution they have been admitted, IITs, IIMs, and the top-notch institutions. If they have been really taught well, they will be able to crack those competitive examinations rather than only scoring 98 or 99. Second, practical knowledge. If good practical knowledge have been imbibed in school life, I am sure while they have been admitted there, they will be very successful doctors, chartered accountant, IAS, whatever they are into the field, they will be very successful if the practical training has been imbibed well. Third, very important, if the value system has not been properly imbibed, I am sure they will become and ended up being Raja, Raju and Kalmadi. So they do not become so. It is very important the value system should be very strong among the students. So I expect a teacher to be a teacher, means a guru. While they are also like and supposed to be a master, means excellent in their subject. And every one of you should be first a teacher, a guru, a adhyapak, and then you are master of your subjects. So what I will expect from a teacher, that perspective I like to share with you. One, in my opinion, had you been to a corporate organization, it is not that important. Whatever you do for your job. Nobody is such that who is looking at you to become like you. But as a teacher, one should be a role model. Because he is being looked after, each and every aspect of his life is looked after by someone to whom we call students, who are citizens of the future, who are going to make the nation. So it is very important that you yourself become the role model. In Gita there is a slok, Yad Yadacharati Sreshta Tad Deva Itaro Janah Sa Yat Pramanam Kurute Lokah Tad Anuvartate. Whatever action is performed by a great man, a teacher here, common man, student here, follow his footsteps, and whatever standard he sets by exemplary acts, all the world pursues, the students will pursue. So it's very important that the teacher have a very high character. He sets very high standard of living. He sets very high standard of ethics and values. Now we know that we are all carried away by the Western culture. Alcohol has become a day-to-day kind of practice in the life. While I expect none of the teachers should consume alcohol, and once they don't do, our students will not follow. Chanakya slok, even, though it is a practice in Western country, Shakespeare in one of his dramas has stated, I am quoting, "O God, that men should put an enemy in their mouth to steal away the brains." He is also not advised to consume alcohol. Madhyapanam na kartavyam tenonmada prajayate unmattena manushyena kadacharo vidhiyate. Secondly, yoga, to which we call yoga because the Western people say yoga, it is very much yoga. Yoga should be a very part of our life. And once it is a part of your life, it will be part of your students, which is very important. Bhogena sa yogasyada grihastasyapi jivane kevalena tu bhogena grahastam dukhitam bhavet. So I request you to make yoga as a part of your life. Second, make the students sensitive to the society, and for that you need yourself to be sensitive. Life is enjoyable only when there is knowledge, compassion, and intelligence. And in this respect, I like to narrate a story which is a real story of, you might have heard about T.N. Sesson, the former chief election commissioner of the country. Once upon a time, he was traveling with his wife and stayed in one of the guest houses in a forest in Uttar Pradesh. His wife noticed two nests on a tree and asked the PSO to bring those nest. The PSO went and told the cowboy who was around there to bring that nest, and he in turn will give rupees 10. The cowboy denied. Then T.N. Sesson himself went and told him, I'll give you 50 rupees, you bring those two nests, because his wife wanted to keep and decorate them in their drawing hall. The cowboy still denied. On asking why, in spite of the fact that I'm giving you 50 rupees, you are not bringing that, the answer of the cowboy surprised T.N. Sesson. He said that, Saheb, aap kitna bhi dijiye, main nahi launga. In case I bring it, the baby sparrows who are there in the nest, they are waiting for the mother sparrow to come back in the evening with the food, and they will not find the nest. They will cry, and I have no guts to see that scene. In the words of T.N. Sesson himself, I will tell you what he is saying. He said that my position and my eyes disappeared in front of that little boy. I became like a mustard seed in front of him. Education, position, and social status are not the criteria of humanity. So my dear teachers, what I want or expect from the teacher, that we must produce such students who are so much of sensitive towards the social issues. Next, none of us in fact ever realize the aim, the purpose of life. You might think that the purpose of our life was to become a teacher, to earn a livelihood, and to teach in the classroom. So is the case when you ask any student, what is your aim? you will get the answer like, I want to become a doctor, chartered accountant, engineer, IAS, whatever, blah, blah, blah. But do you think that this is really the purpose of life? You might have seen a latest movie, 12 Fail, where in the last interview, when the boy is asked, what you will do? बोला मैं चेष्टा करूंगा. तो बोला this is your last, I'm not really remembering the real conversation, this is your last attempt. He answered that IPS बनना मेरा लक्ष्य नहीं है. लक्ष्य तो मेरा है कि गांव जाकर वो जो चीटिंग सिस्टम हमारे स्कूलों में उसको बंद करना है और समाज में एक सुधार करना है. What a wonderful reply. So I mean to say, we all should have some purpose of that sort in life rather than, because these are means of livelihood. These cannot be the purpose to become an IAS or a chartered accountant or whatever one aims to become in the life. So we must imbibe these values among students that you should have some purpose in the life. Berkeley said that there are two great important days in everybody's life. One, the day he is born, and the other one, the day he realizes why. Unfortunately, we all remember the day we are born, and unfortunately again every year we are reminded of that day and we celebrate it in big way. But throughout our life we never know or try to know as to why. The day we come to know why we are born, what is the purpose, the work is done. So my request will be that we imbibe such values, such system that the students understand that they have to have some purpose of life, go back to the society, give back to the society, create something new, some innovation, whatever you find that I become a doctor is not the criteria, I'll do the health services, that should be the purpose. There are two education. One should teach us how to make a living and the other one how to live. While we are teaching how to make livelihood, we are not teaching how to live. Our present education system, of course, NEP is going to take care of many of the flaws, is tend to make the students selfish, not generous. My idea is that our Bharatiya Gyan system had never think about selfishness. They talk about the Vasudeva Kutumbakam. Ayam nijaya parovetti ganana laghu chetasam udar charitanam tu Vasudeva Kutumbakam. We should imbibe such values in our student that they don't become selfish, they become generous enough. They become in the habit of taking along the whole community. We have Vedas Sangachadvam Samvadadvam Sambo Mananasi Janatam Deva Bhagam Yatha Purve Sanjanana Upasate. That is our Sanatan Paddhati. That is our epic says. But where are our students taught about all this? You as a teacher, you are supposed to give dan of Vidya, and Vidya dan is considered to be the biggest dan. It is said that Anna danam param danam Vidya danam atah param annena chanika tripti yavat jivanta vidya. But today education has become a product like any other sellable product. My request to the teaching community will be, once they are into the teaching profession, they should make them different from any other profession. This should not be a sellable commodity. While this should be a source of livelihood, they get a monthly salary or whatever charges they get. But the whole idea is to give Vidya Dan and produce such citizen in the country who will make the nation. And at the same time, to produce such students who are very sensitive to the nature. Everybody is in the wealth creation. We are trying to create wealth for our next generation, but none of us is thinking and worried about our future existence itself. We are not talking, we are not imbibing those values which are concern of survivability of the humankind, be it water reservation, be it atmosphere. Global warming is such a big concern, you know, the temperature has gone so high that schools are changing their time. So unless the plastic use, all these nation mission under the leadership of our Honorable Prime Minister Narendra Modi ji, whatever national missions are there, students should be given good training that they must try, and they should have the idea of nation first character must. I have many things to share, but I think I don't know I will be allowed so much of time. One or two aspects I like to delve more. As a teacher, again I'll request you to give your best. There is a sloka of Chanakya, Acharyat Padamatatte, Padam Sishya Swamedaya, Kalena Padamadatte, Padam Se Brahmacharibhya. 1/4 of the learning comes from teachers, one from self-intellect, one from time and experience, and the 1/4 from peers. So your job is confined to 1/4 learning of the students. So you should try to give 100% of that 1/4. There should not be any lacking in 25%. And I'll like to give one example of C.V. Raman's story, which is found in one of the books of Abdul Kalamji. He said that C.V. Raman was invited as the first batch of Bharat Ratna awardee by the then President of India, Rajendra Prasad ji, Dr. Rajendra Prasad, immediately after Republic Day celebration. He wrote a polite letter that he will not be able to attend that ceremony. And you know the reason he gave? Because a student of C.V. Raman was on the final stage of his thesis. And he said it is very important that at this fag end of the thesis completion, his presence with the student is more important than going to accept the award. Can you imagine a teacher like this? Can we think that we can stand by our teacher during their exam time? Can we stand by the students who are not doing so well? So these are the examples which makes a teacher really a great teacher. In one of the movies, I normally don't try to miss the movies which are based on students and education and teachers. There was a movie titled Rub Book, where the teachers were blamed for poor students, not the poor students themselves. Weak students are the result of teachers being unkind to them. In what way unkind? By not teaching them the basic concept. Teaching them the basic concept and practical knowledge is very, very important. And friends, you are mathematics teacher. Vedic mathematics is such which the Honorable Education Minister will like that our new education policy or our system should be such that we must try to teach through Vedic mathematics, which is very relevant. We were the Bhandar of Gyan. Our ancient Gyan system, even zero we invented, you know all about Aryabhatta. Even in our Hanuman Chalisa written more than 2000 ago, the measurement of the distance from earth to moon, earth to sun, that Yug Sahastra Yojan Prabhanu, there is a line in Hanuman Chalisa which speaks about the distance between sun and the earth. That vast our knowledge system was. So we should try to depend and try to reinvent our old Gyan system and teach to our students. And our Sanatan Dharma is fully scientific. If you teach through your science and speak about the various food habits, living habits, all are very, very scientific, and our students and people in general will understand the Sanatan Paddhati if you teach them and prove how scientific they are. And the last one, there is a direct nexus and correlation between religion, morality and ethics, and success. There was a research and survey in US. The result of the research was more the religious people, more the morality and ethics they have. The people who went last week more to the church, mosque, and the temples, they were found to have more charity being done by them than the ones who had not gone. So there was a direct nexus found between religion and morality and ethics. So it is very important that we all become very religious. Whatever faith you believe in, doesn't matter. More the religious you are, and more the religious our student are, more ethical, more moral value they will have. And in another survey it is found that more the morality, more the success, you may see the story of Tata Group. The other day I was in a program where the Tata story was elaborately discussed. It is a 168-year stories, how Tata became so successful, because they were based on moral values. With these few words, my dear teachers, I once again thank you very much for a patience hearing. I am really grateful to have been invited for this session. Good luck. I am sure you have a good training, and you are going to take it forward to train to other teachers, and you are always welcome to Royal Global University. Thank you very much, sir.